Hey guys, welcome to hashtag Behind Relationship Goals.
We're back, and the podcast has been running successively and consecutively
And
consistently and successfully. A lot of fullies and illies to describe the podcast at the moment. We're very, very happy. You guys have been sending in so many beautiful comments, stories, feedback, and we've been loving it. And we're so motivated to keep on doing the podcast. And that brings us to what I would say is the last stop in this We Are Married series.
The final stop, because we thought that would be last episode, but we kept telling stories, but there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's just so many stories to tell. So initially, we were going to do the engagement, then the planning, then the actual wedding. And it was going to end there.
Yeah.
But when we were talking about the wedding, the actual church weddings, which was Jan 10 and 25, ended up becoming a podcast on its own.
Yeah.
So we decided, okay, let's reserve the reception and everything else after that for a separate podcast, which is the episode you are about to watch right now.
Or listen to.
Or listen to.
If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever.
Yeah, so maybe just before we get into the meat of the podcast, people have been listening fairly equally. Some on Spotify because it's so convenient on their commute. Others, when they're on their desk, they actually like the vibe of seeing us on YouTube.
Yeah,
so
we actually got tagged in some Insta stories about this girl who videotaped her mom watching the podcast while working.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. So she was working on a computer and her papers, and then the podcast was on her phone running on her desk. And that was super duper cute. Shout out to whoever posted that. But anyway, here we are, part 4 of the We Are Married series. We are about to talk about the reception. Oh, and by the way, I cut my hair.
Finally.
If you guys have not noticed, for those watching on YouTube. So, yeah, I'm going to be back taping for Love of My Life very, very soon. They asked me to cut my hair because continuity. Ugh.
Actually, I think we should talk about that because a lot of people were commenting on your hair from the wedding.
Yeah. Actually,
and,
that's a pretty good segue.
You know, they were commenting. They were like, bakit ang haba ng hair niya?
Bakit ganun yung itsura ng buhok niya?
Bakit hindi man lang siya nagpagupit para sa kasal nila?
Bakit hindi siya nag-ayos?
Ang dami.
But what is the reason? What is our answer to that?
Actually, just to clear things out, I did ask Mikael if he could cut his hair before the wedding. Because my reasoning was that you're going to cut your hair anyways when you need to do your show.
Like now.
So why not do it for the wedding? And his answer was, I just want to see how long it can grow before I actually have to cut it.
That's true. And just recently, I was talking to Bones about this. And I said, why do I want to look exactly the same in such a memorable photo? Because, you know, this clean cut, more often than not, people look their best versions in their wedding. But those best versions are usually the versions that they are for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
Or for most of their lives. So
even for you, Fofo, for like work. You look
right,
your
for
best
work.
for
I have
work.
to look my best for work all the time. So I was like, you know what? This is such a crazy look, a crazy hairdo. I have my mustache and my beard. It's so not me. How crazy would it be if down the line, in the future, our kids see this, our nieces and nephews see this, and they're like, oh my God, Tito Fofo.
Fofo!
Bakit ganyan yung itsura mo? We don't recognize you. And there's so many stories that can be born out of that. So many laughs, cuentos, hirits, teasing, insults, whatever they may be.
Ang daming masasabi dahil sa buhok.
Ang daming masasabi. I mean, and the opposite side of that is if we both looked our best selves and I had my nice clean cut, shaved, younger looking self, wala lang. Because that's what they see on teleseries. That's what they see in posters. That's what they see in 90% of my Instagram photos. So I'm like, parang corny. So I realized that I wanted that adventure. I wanted that craziness. And I think that's why I was okay with how my hair turned out.
Yeah, and at first I was like, I was kind of like bad trip because you don't want to cut your hair. But then I was like, you know what? Whatever. It doesn't matter. The important thing is we're getting married. So
Were you
I
super bad trip?
not bad, not super bad trip. I was just like, oh, like
But
an
did you
all
get-
kind of bad
But you
trip.
got my point, right?
I did, and I understood where you were coming from. So I didn't want to look at the physicality of it. Eventually, that's where like that was my mindset na. Parang, oh nga naman, like why should I care about how Fofo looks during this one time when he's gonna look pogi the rest of our lives?
Yeah.
Pogi ni Fofo.
Okay, and then here's the thing. So I was my adventurous grungy self during the wedding. Bones was her usual cleaned up self. She cleaned up very nicely as she does. But I knew it and I could expect that there was going to be a Bones faux pas for sure. There was going to be a Bones mistake, a funny story somewhere in the wedding. And true enough, it happened. Anong ginawa mo? Kinain mo yung bulaklak natin.
Okay, I was like, may bago ba akong hindi alam?
So, and then I caught it. I saw it on a video and I posted it on Instagram if you guys saw that. And it's just nice because these are nice stories that you can tell. You don't look at a photo that's picture perfect.
Yeah.
What do people say about that? Ang ganda mo doon. Ay, ang gwapo mo doon. Ay, ang ganda ng picture.
But what was the story behind it?
Wala
Because
na,
there's
tapos na.
always a
Tapos
story.
na yun. Wala na silang masasabi.
At least may kwento yung sa atin.
'Di ba? Sa atin may kwento. Nakakatawa. Ang daming emotions, ang daming reactions. Minsan violent, minsan hindi. Okay?
But yeah, so basically that's the whole backstory behind Fofo's hair. So it didn't really matter to us. Just if people are wondering if I became a bridezilla because of it, I didn't. I was bride chilla about it. So enough of it. Okay na yung buhok mo. Pogi na ulit, Fofo. Not that you weren't pogi before, but I like this more.
Yeah. And FYI, Soba is raising her hand.
She's so knocked
She's so dead.
out. Not dead. Like,
She's so dead, like dead to the world. Pwede
yeah.
naman yun, ko naman. Gets na nila yun. Anyway, moving on. So, the wedding ended, right? And we got to our reception. And our reception was in El Caballo Stables, which it has been used for wedding receptions
Yeah.
and wedding ceremonies in the past, just not very often. So even on the internet, maybe we saw like 2 or 3 weddings. that
We
have
saw
used
2
El Caballo
weddings lang.
Stables.
Plus Tita Jen's wedding also.
Yeah, plus a friend's wedding. And the thing is, along with our stylist, there was a vision that was conceived. There was a vision that was conceived when we saw the place. And we were like, yeah, I think this is going to work.
Yeah, and the one thing that I said was I really want like yung parang hanging lights kasi it feels very homey. It felt like parang Tita Jen's backyard because she had like the hanging light.
Let's be honest. Bones saw that peg of, the lights hanging from each tree branch, from tree to tree, crisscrossing above you.
Yeah.
She saw that on Pinterest.
Yeah, I did.
And it was just nice to see. And that was the
did.
peg. So I think we should talk about paano natin nabuo yung peg ng look na gusto natin.
Well, for
And
one,
that was a lot of you.
yeah, because you were like, okay, just decide. I don't really care for the design anyway, as long as it's
We could have a table there and just have everyone and I'll be happy.
yeah. Fofo's pretty simple that way. But syempre, I wanted it to look pretty. So I think the first thing that comes to mind when people think about like a reception or a wedding is the colors. I think they always think about that. And there's always like a color palette that you want to follow, I guess, for like the flowers or like the decorations or even your guests' outfits. And I was really set on having earth tones like a terracotta, yung mga clay
Yeah.
colors, very like peachy or a deep brownish red. So brown basically
Yeah.
yung template.
And this was, I guess, the first aspect of the wedding where Bones got really excited. And I told her, go crazy, go on Pinterest, go talk to our stylist and, have fun. Just enjoy the process, I guess.
Yeah.
And she did. So she eventually settled on her color palette. I think another option that you were looking at was maybe pastel colors. I think that was an option, maybe.
Maybe like a pastel blue. I was looking at that also.
Yeah, but either way, we eventually ended up with
earth tones.
earth tones, And for the theme, is there a particular? Did we have a particular theme?
I don't know if like there's a certain way to call it, but they were like it's medyo bohemian yung dating niya. Kasi
Yeah, and we didn't want a lot of flowers.
yeah, so then because I don't really I told Mikael when we first started dating, sabi ko, you don't need to get me flowers because I'm gonna see them for a couple of days and then they're gonna be gone.
That's
so
true.
I told Gideon, our stylist, you don't need to put a lot of flowers because one, they're super expensive, and two, it's just the same way of thinking. After a couple of days, it's just gonna like wilt. You know what I'm saying?
And at the same time, if you guys don't know yet, flowers are freaking expensive.
I just said that.
Sorry.
But emphasis on the freaking
I just
expensive.
wanted to emphasize, grabe.
Yeah, they're really
Grabe.
pricey.
Like, they can literally double the price of your whole wedding.
Yeah.
Not just the styling budget. If you get really nice flowers and a lot of them, they can double the price of the whole wedding.
Yeah, so
And you can't eat them. Not like the
Yeah.
food, unless you're Bones.
lol.
She eats flowers. But anyway, back to the point. So yeah, we wanted it a bit simple. We didn't want it too opulent. And opulent was really the word because judging from some of the weddings and other
Events, yeah.
special occasions that we saw on Instagram, very opulent yung
Grand, yeah.
opulent and grand yung themes na nakikita namin online, especially for like first birthdays, debut, and for us, we just wanted something very nice and homey.
Yeah.
Something where a place where we could move around a lot and enjoy, and that is where we conceived our dance floor.
Yeah, so another thing that I told them was that I wanted lounge areas because kaming magbabarkada, we love hanging out at each other's houses. We love just, sitting on the couch tapos nagkukwentuhan lang kami or we'll have like some cookies and coffee. Like that's just us. Simple lang. So sabi ko, I noticed that when I would go to weddings before, parang you just have to like go walk back to your seat. Kung medyo malayo upuan mo, parang hassle maglakad.
Yeah, so when dinner ends and you party and you're on the dance floor, the only time you can rest is you have to go back to your seat.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to go get food, you have to go all the way back to your seat. So what the stylist came up with was a dance floor, and then he surrounded the dance floor with couches.
Yes.
And just places where people can sit, lie down, sleep.
It was all around. Like we had like long couches all around it. And then one side there were like parang mga benches na, I don't know, ottoman. I think that's what you call it. And it was just so much fun because everybody would dance. And then if you got tired, you could just sit down beside the dance floor and watch everybody and have fun. So that's one aspect that I really enjoyed from the styling.
Yeah, and if you noticed, we got this from experience because we had been to several weddings of friends already.
Mm-hmm.
And what we experienced was napapagod kami. There was no place to really lounge around. So we used that experience and shared that with our stylist. And eventually we came up with a solution. So we were just very open with what we wanted. And we tried to think back in our memories for what happened to us in past weddings.
Oh, here's another thing. So when I would go to events before, I would notice na, especially if it's a styled event, when you sit down, sometimes you can't see the person in front of you because whatever's there is just too big.
The ornaments.
The ornaments in
on
the middle.
Table. Yeah.
So I said, please do not make it high. Like I just want something simple, something low. Basta magkakakitaan yung mga guests namin.
Yeah, minsan puro dahon lang yung nakikita mo.
Oo,
it's
puro
like
dahon.
A wall of leaves.
Or there's like a vase with like big flowers.
And you
then
can't see the person across
you're
you.
just like, hi, I'm in front of you, but I'm not going to talk to you because it's my effort. So I was like, kailangan hindi sila mag-effort, mag-usap. So what I liked that what Gideon did is that he put the tables na parang they were kind of like swerving like by the trees or like, I don't know. I found it really cute.
You're going to have to put some photos on this edit.
Oh yeah, I probably will. Maybe for the YouTube I will.
Extra work for Bones. But anyway, so these were some of the mandatories that we had. And we'd like to share some of the other things, the non-negotiables that we had for the reception. So we wanted it chill. We wanted it relaxed. We didn't want it opulent. We wanted a dance floor, pero we wanted areas where people could lounge. Now, another thing that was mandatory for the reception was...
We didn't want a photo booth. Well, I didn't want a photo booth.
Oh, all right, yeah.
Because I was like, well, we're already in some place that's already beautiful. We're in El Caballo. You're gonna have it styled. Sayang naman yung styling, diba? Kung hindi magagamit. So they were able to create a bunch of spots that people could just take pictures in. And it became so unique. Na parang, oh yeah, that's their wedding.
Ako naman, yung opinion ko sa photo booth is that since ang dami-dami ng photo booths, any kind of event, kahit Christmas party, birthday party, office party, lahat may photo booth. But the problem is, the way you pose in a photo booth, it's pretty much the same every single time.
Yeah.
You're gonna have one where you look weird, you have one where you smile, another na wacky. And then the other one with all the same props that you can use. So I was like, you know what? Mas cute siguro if you just ask people to start taking selfies.
Yeah. And we didn't even have like a specific
just give
photographer
everyone,
to take
just
pictures
everyone
for
give them freedom to take whatever they want. And I think it's going to come out nicely. And we've collected some of the photos from our friends and family. And yeah, it came out very personal.
Really, really
Magulo, shaky video. Pero ang ganda tingnan kasi kakaiba eh.
Ganda. All right, moving on to the next
non-negotiable. Of course, coffee.
Coffee.
Coffee. Okay. Like I said, I think I mentioned this in one of the previous episodes. There would have been no wedding if there was no coffee.
Yeah, that was like the number one thing on our list. We're like, we need a coffee cart. There has to be coffee somewhere there.
We wanted a coffee bar, and we wanted a very specific kind of coffee or specific quality of coffee, which was only going to be provided by our friends in chapter.
Yeah, it had to be specialty coffee. Call us snobs if you must, but we wanted good coffee, and we wanted to make sure it was served at our wedding.
Yeah, so the story behind that is the owner of Chapter Coffee in Maginhawa. He became our friends maybe like 4 or 5 years ago.
Wow, probably
And
6.
yeah,
Oh, wait.
It was with that
7.
It was with that group of people, baristas, owners, and customers, that we grew to learn about coffee and eventually love coffee. So that group was actually invited to our wedding, and they also brought their coffee bar with them and made coffee for everyone. And it was just so nice because it's coffee that we were used to.
Yeah.
They knew what we liked. They knew how we wanted it served. And at the end of the day, they were able to have fun and enjoy the reception as well. So it was just so, so nice. That coffee bar was not just a symbol of good coffee, but it was a symbol of our growth in terms of our friendships that we made. Us as a couple, since we grew up loving coffee, or we grew to love coffee. So when I think about it, there's a lot of symbolism in that coffee bar. And I know that the baristas who were in that wedding, they listened to the podcast. They listened to these episodes. So shout out to Earl,
Don, Patrick.
Janica, Patrick, because they were amazing.
Thanks,
And
guys. You guys were
grown
awesome.
up together loving coffee.
Oh, it was so awesome that we got to have that, honestly, because the guests loved it and we loved it, and it made everyone happy during the cocktails right before the reception. So
with that, moving on, another aspect of the reception that I'm personally proud of is the portalets.
Yeah.
Because imagine this. El Caballo Stables is literally just a field with 5 big trees in it. Nothing else. There are no facilities. There was one house, a medyo dilapidated building na malayo dun sa reception. And we didn't want people to have to walk there. And at the same time, the upkeep of the bathrooms there weren't very good. Here's the thing though. In taping, we're always shooting in remote areas. And we have portalets that are set up, may aircon sa loob.
Yeah.
And there are always people cleaning every time someone uses it. And as soon as you step out of the portalet, someone sprays your hand with alcohol.
Yeah.
They offer to spray your
They
hand
have
with
a routine
alcohol.
already.
And it's such an amazing experience. for those who use it for the very first
Mm-hmm.
time. So I asked one of our suppliers at taping, or Bones asked one of our suppliers at taping, if they could provide 5 portalets for everyone. And like I imagined, everybody came away absolutely impressed. So a lot of the titos were very scared about the portalet situation. They're like,
Okay.
oh my God, I need to go to the banyo.
They were
Okay,
afraid of
okay."
like
So they
squatting.
they were dreading the experience. And as soon as they opened the portalet, it's really small. It's like 2 meters by 2 meters long. As soon as they open it, they feel the aircon. And then there are curtains inside. The walls are not just tarpaulin. There are curtains
Yeah.
lined up on top of the tarpaulin. It looks nice. It's well lit. There's a faucet. There's soap. There's toiletries. And they're like, wow.
Ang ganda.
And then after they do their thing, they come out and someone comes up to them and says, "Ma'am, sir, alcohol po." And then they spray their hands. And then it's just such an amazing feeling.
Because
the-
you don't get that if you have like a normal portalet. Like if you
Yeah.
go to a concert, ang ganda pa ng portalet nila, di ba? Pero you don't get that kind of service.
And imagine coming into it, dreading it, and coming out of it like, oh my God,
What is this?
this is amazing.
Heaven. Portalet heaven.
So shout out to the Porta Boys who are amazing in taping, and they were amazing in our reception. So thank you to them. They were, it was exactly what I wanted talaga, in terms of giving that experience, sharing a piece of our work to our friends
Yeah.
and family, since they never really know what's happening to us during our taping.
It gives them a little look into
Our
what we
lives,
do. Yeah.
right? So
Now I think moving from toilets, we go to food. What a shift. There was one thing that Mikael requested.
yeah, so aside from the
food.
coffee, I also wanted a halo-halo station.
Matanong nga kita. Nakakain ka ba ng halo-halo ng wedding?
Uy, nakakain kaya
Okay,
ako.
okay.
Isang beses.
Ako din mga kalahati
Yeah,
nga.
yeah. So I was so meticulous. We talked to our food supplier, and I was so chill about our food. I said, yeah, no, whatever you guys want. We don't even need the steak. Just put any kind of beef there, any kind of chicken. Basta 1 beef, 1 chicken, 1 pork, 1 seafood. Okay na ako. Tas
Yeah.
kailangan may kanin. So I was easy to talk to when it came to the food, except for when it came to the dessert. I said, I need a halo-halo station. And I need certain ingredients in this halo-halo station. Like, I need the red beans. I need the kidney beans. I need the nata de coco. I need the kaong that's green and the kaong that's red. I need the makapuno, the ube ice cream. I need the shaved ice. Pero kailangan yung bingsu shaved ice. Hindi yung makakapal na masakit pag kinagat mo. Okay, you need evaporated milk. You need fresh milk. Okay?
Gusto ko lahat ng ingredients sinabi mo. Nilatag
Leche
mo
flan,
agad.
garbanzos, and yeah. I think that's about it.
Pwede ka na magtayo ng
Pinipig,
halo-halo
posible,
station.
saba,
Ayun, hindi
pwede.
pa pala
So,
tapos.
I mentioned all these things to the food supplier, and at least they delivered. But I was that meticulous. Konti na nga lang hinihingi ko, diba?
Nakakatawa lang na
Halo-halo
nirecite
station na
mo
nga lang
talaga.
Sorry. I'm excited. I'm excited when it comes to my halo-halo. And for those who love it too, you understand my joy. Okay.
Hold my hand.
So, did you have any options or requirements for food? What did you have?
One thing that we both agreed on was that we weren't going to have a wedding cake, actually.
Oh yeah.
We didn't want a wedding cake because
Who eats wedding cakes? Or if you eat wedding cakes, who finishes wedding cakes?
not everyone, but what we wanted our favorite cakes. So we listed down probably like 10 of our favorite cakes, ended up with 4 of them. And that's what we brought to Subic.
Yeah. So instead of your big wedding cakes that aren't as good as your favorite cakes anyway, diba, we decided to just get all our all-time favorites. I think we should share what our all-time favorites are. So one thing that I remember, Dulcelin's mango tort. That was one.
The Yulo strawberry cake.
Eula's strawberry shortcake.
Yeah. Campfire cake from Purple Oven.
You also had Big Al's chocolate cake.
Oh, that was my choice.
Your
It's my
favorite.
favorite.
And there was another one, right?
Was there?
Oh yeah, the other one were crepes
From Josie.
made by the cook of my mom. She makes amazing crepes.
Oh,
And
were
she used
so
to make
good.
them all the time when I was growing up, and they're absolutely amazing. So we had 5 of those cakes present in our wedding, and everybody absolutely loved them. Like,
yeah.
all the messages on Facebook was like, Dais, anong cake to? Anong cake to? Then they would show me the photo. I was like, ito yun. So it was nice because, it was more practical.
Yeah,
right?
and everybody got to choose what kind of cake they wanted.
It was more practical and there was more value in it, I'd say. So yeah, that's exactly how we did our food. And Soba has transferred over to me now.
For those watching the video, you'll see that. And if not, then head on over to YouTube to check out #BehindRelationshipGoals on video. Now, going back to our little podcast here. While we were planning with the wedding planners, they kept asking us, what's your program? What's your program? Because we need to know for logistics. And honestly, we had a hard time because we didn't know if we wanted a program.
Yeah, no, sorry. I was minding Soba. At any rate, so when it came to the program, I kind of knew what parts of a traditional program I wanted and what parts I didn't want.
Okay.
So how about you? How did you feel about that?
Well, I knew that I didn't want a traditional program because whenever I go to weddings and there's a program, I get sleepy.
Yeah, I find it too long. And one thing that we really did not want to happen was we didn't want to go hungry.
Yeah.
Because if we went hungry, that means our guests were gonna go hungry as well.
Diba may ginagawa yung iba sa weddings. What they'll do is they'll take pictures per table, and then after they take a picture, the couple takes a picture with you. That's when you go to the buffet, or you'll play a game tapos paunahan kayo doon para kayo mauna sa buffet. But nakakapagod yun. So I was like, paunahan na lang kaya.
Okay, wait. You know what? Let's backtrack a bit, okay? What is a normal traditional program? So what are the elements of a traditional wedding program? That would be
First dance,
the first dance.
the mother and son, father-daughter.
And then maybe there's a small presentation.
Yeah.
And then you have the wine toasting.
Cake
you
cutting.
have the cake cutting. And then more presentations.
Speeches.
And then you have the speeches. And speeches can take, forever. So you have the best man speech and the maid of honor speech.
Parents.
You have the parents,
The
two
couple.
sets. You have the couple speech. Wow, that's already 6.
Yeah, sometimes people do like 2 entourage pa.
And then 2 more. And then sometimes they open the floor to anybody who wants to talk. So you end up with maybe 8 to 10 people. And if that's at least 5 minutes of speeches and presentation, sometimes my AVP, dude, that's at very least an hour already.
And the thing is, we already knew so much about each other's families. We've had numerous conversations with each other's moms, siblings, and we didn't really feel the need to have speeches
Yeah, because I
in
don't
our
think
program,
there was anything that anybody could say that we didn't already talk about.
or that we didn't already know.
These were people who we're so close to, who we've had so many good, intimate conversations with, that it didn't make sense for them to have to say that again.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's not like they would have been able to say it. It's hard giving a speech.
Yeah, and then we'd figure baka kabahan or baka ma-pressure. So we decided, wag na.
We decided to just scrap it. So there were no games. There were no speeches. And our coordinators are like, ano nang gagawin natin? So Megan asked for one thing to be retained. And that was?
I asked for the first dance to be retained, and then that we would dance with our moms right after.
So we danced to Hooked on a Feeling.
Yeah, it's from Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1 soundtrack.
And it was a rendition by the band who we hired, which is Frigora, and it was absolutely amazing. It
was so beautiful.
It's a fun, funky song. And then after that, we had the first dance with our moms.
And I specifically asked them to sing Mama by the Spice Girls, and it was so fun.
Yeah, it was super fun.
Oh, I love that song.
Yeah. Naging sentimental nga yung moment sa akin, diba?
Grabe si Fofo, he would cry every time. Like, he would cry when he danced with his mom. He cried when he danced with my mom. And I was like, how come I'm not crying? I want to cry too.
Pusong bato ka kasi.
Oh, hindi oh. Nag-enjoy naman ako, Fofo. I was just so happy. Like, rather than having happy tears, I was laughing because I was so happy.
Yeah, I know. It was surprising that Bones was the one who was so fun-loving and happy-go-go during the wedding. And I was the one who was becoming vulnerable and sentimental each and every time.
It's very unlike us. Like, nag-switch personalities kami during the wedding.
Yeah. So anyway, back to the program. So we cut out all the fat, everything we felt that we didn't like or we felt that wasn't important to us personally. We just cut it out.
Yeah.
And we wanted to speed things up. And then we got to the matter of the host. We were thinking, oh yeah, how do we host this? Because we didn't like it when we would ask relatives or friends to host, even though magaling sila or may mga marurunong, because I've felt that. And it's always extra effort pa rin. Even though you love the person and you're willing, it's still extra effort. And we just didn't want to impose that on anybody.
Yeah, we wanted all our guests to enjoy and have fun.
So, eto yung kwento. Okay? Nakaupo na lahat ng guests namin. Okay? We were about to enter for the first dance, but our coordinators were saying, Ma'am, sir, paano po natin sasabihin yan? So I was looking at Bones and I was like, you know what? Why don't we just host our own wedding?
Because beforehand, we were looking for hosts. And we're like, who's going to host? Like, who's going to host the wedding? So we'd look around. And we're like, parang mahal. Or parang jahe kasi di naman natin kilala.
And parang weird sometimes if you bring in a person who you're not close to and the person has to kind of fabricate a relationship with everyone out of thin air. That's so difficult. We know how that feels.
Yeah. So at that very moment, I told Fofo, tara tayo na lang. Game? Game ka?
Yeah, and you know what? We're so used to it. We're so used to run and gun. We're so used to crazy emergencies while hosting events that hosting our wedding was absolutely nothing. So we told the coordinators, alam nyo, akin na yung mic.
Give us the mics
and sabi
right
nila,
now.
Ano po, ma'am, sir?
Ano?
And I was like, kami bahala dyan. Alam namin to. Trabaho namin to eh. So we got the mics. And I started with good evening, everybody. Here are your hosts, Mikael Daes Young and
Megan Young Daes.
And then we just come in and start the program. And it was super simple. We had so much fun. Sa totoo lang, may pagkagaguhan lang eh, di ba?
Actually, we were like, oh, first dance na.
Di ba? Oh, wait. Okay, so our first part of our program is the first dance. With her.
It was pretty cute.
And it was nice because one of my titas went up to me just recently and she said, hey, you know what? I really loved when you guys hosted it because it was so goofy.
Yeah.
And it kind of started out the fun vibe. It allowed everyone to relax.
Yeah.
Because I understand that in weddings, things can get a bit uptight because it's a very solemn moment.
Mm-hmm.
And when they saw that we were just having fun with one another and having fun with our program and we didn't really care, they were like, nakaka-relax to. Enjoy rin tayo, diba? Let's enjoy the moment with them. So that was an unexpected reaction.
Yeah, I
didn't know that was gonna happen.
I didn't think that people would have that reaction towards what we did. I just thought, we wanted to have fun and enjoy, but it was nice that people fed off the energy that we were giving to them.
Yeah. So that's what happened with our hosting. And I think the only other part of the program was we ate dinner, and after dinner, we had the coffee toast and the cake cutting.
Yeah.
So instead of wine toasting, because we love coffee, we had that one. And I think we explained that already in a previous podcast.
Yeah, and yun nga, when we invited people to eat dinner, we were just like, so dinner is now served. Paunahan na lang po kayo.
Oh, did we say that?
I said that.
Okay. I didn't say that. Bones said that. And after we had the coffee toasting and cake cutting, we opened the dance floor. We opened the bar. We had the bar come closer to the dance floor, and everybody enjoyed. And what time was that? 8 p.m.?
8 p.m. Yeah. So our program was done by 8 p.m. and everybody was just enjoying the night. People would go back and forth to the buffet because that's originally why I wanted to get buffet instead of yung serving. Kasi sabi ko, also from experience. I mean, a lot of things that we decided on, we got from experience. Na when I would go to weddings na parang may nagsiserve lang by plate, I'd get so hungry after. And I love eating and I love having fun and dancing. So I'd keep ordering food. Sabi ko, hindi pwede magutom yung guests natin. Kailangan pwede silang pabalik-balik sa buffet. So that's one of the reasons why we chose the buffet.
So yeah, that was the program. That was dinner. It started around 6:15 and ended around 8:30. 2 hours. Nobody got hungry. Everybody had fun. And then, of course, came the party.
The party.
How did you find the party, Bones? I'm curious.
Okay. Can I just start by saying that my night started early because of the band. I love the band so much. I love Frigora, and I will say it over and over again. I love Frigora. I love them so much. They set the mood entirely. Going back to when we were planning, they sent a list of songs that they could play, and you just had to choose a number of songs. And I was like, I'm going to choose my favorite karaoke songs. I'm not even going to ask Fofo. I'm just going to choose the songs that I like, everything that's fun. And they were like, are you sure that you want all these like upbeat, happy songs? I'm like, yes, I want these songs. And even the guests noticed the type of songs that were played. We played like Backstreet Boys, we had Dua Lipa, we had Michael Jackson, etc., etc. But I was dancing early on. Wala pa ako nakakain at all, but I was dancing, going from table to table, just enjoying. So that is the vibe that was set by them, I have to say. And then the party happened. What happened?
So here we go, our party. It started around 8:15, 8:30. The problem is, Bones only remembers until around 9:30 p.m. She had way too much fun and drank way too much happiness.
A lot of happiness.
A lot of happiness. Really fast and really quick.
Oh gosh.
So, as Bones mentioned, the band was absolutely amazing and they really set the tone for the vibe of the night and how things were going. Everybody was so rowdy and full of energy.
Rowdy, happy, I would
And
say.
there were so many drinks of happiness going around.
There was one whole tray of shots of happiness.
Happy drinks.
Happy drinks. Like 30 happy drinks, I would say, on one tray.
And happy drinks could consist of anything. Could be water. Could be other stuff.
Juice.
It could be yellow liquid.
Oh, see.
But at any rate, we had so much fun. Everybody was just downing all the happiness in the world. And she knocked out at 9:30 p.m. And all her friends made fun of her.
I started not remembering at 9:30 and knocked out at 10:30.
No, hindi ka nga umabot ng 10:30
O, 10 o'clock.
Siguro mga 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, binuhat na si Madam Bones out of the premises and back to her room. And
By
when
all
she
my
woke
friends.
up, she did not remember half of the party.
Oh my gosh. When I woke up, can I just say, when I woke up, I was like, and it started like touching my arms. I'm like, where's my dress? Why am I in pajamas?
Where's the ring?
Where's the ring?
Where are our gifts?
And then I was like, Fofo. Oh, he was right beside me. So I was like, okay, he's here. And then he's like,
Baka ibang tao.
Oo nga eh.
But of course, so her night ended, blackout siya, no memories at around 9:30 p.m. By 10 p.m., she had passed out and she had to be brought and escorted out of the premises and back to our villa. And because I am such a good hubby, around an hour later, I soon followed. I soon blacked out around 11 p.m. And by 12 midnight, I too had to be escorted out of the premises. And I left my memories in the reception.
In the videos of our friends and photos of our friends, honestly, we have such great friends, Fofo.
Yeah. So inalagaan kami, although I must say I'm pretty sure half of my friends also left their memories in the reception. A lot of my titos left their memories in the reception.
Yeah.
And it was all because of so many happy shots. Drinks of happiness, I would call them for this podcast.
I didn't even think that would happen because we don't drink happiness
very often. But it was a special night. And like we said, it's really the band. The band set the mood and
ang saya-saya lang talaga natin.
That
Sobra.
momentum carried over. So there you go. That was our wedding reception in a nutshell. It was a short program and a short party for both of us.
But a long party for everyone else. Everyone else super enjoyed though.
Yeah. And to cap things off, okay, before we even end it, I would like to make special mention of what happened the very next morning, because I kind of knew that there was going to be too much happiness going around
Yeah.
during that party. So another non-negotiable that I had was to have a pancake house catered brunch.
Yeah.
So the very next day, we rented out a function room in a hotel, and I told everyone, guys, from 9 a.m. to 12 noon, you can come in anytime, and there will be pancake house spaghetti, fried chicken,
Waffles.
waffles,
Pancakes.
chocolate marble waffles, pancakes, chocolate chip pancakes, iced tea, and the amazing tacos of Pancake House.
Ooh, it was amazing.
It was absolutely amazing. And it was just the perfect experience to cap off the whole weekend. Because like I said, our wedding in Subic was Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday morning. And it was the perfect time for us to all recollect and
Our
look
thoughts
at
and memories.
recollect our thoughts and memories by sharing all our photos and videos and stories while we were all very dizzy and
Yeah.
tired and sleepy. But it was so nice. Like, that was one of my favorite moments coming in. You had people who were fresh, people who were tired, people who came in
Like-
the same clothes that they
Yes.
partied in because they weren't able to get home properly.
It was funny because we came in looking like zombies
Yeah.
and went out of that breakfast feeling normal, happy,
Yeah, a bit better at least.
better.
So I think that rounds out our wedding weekend, and that caps off the wedding series of our podcasts.
Yeah, I think let's just end this podcast with a couple of notes because we did have a 4 podcast series for the We Got Married series. We had the engagement, the planning, the ceremonies, and now the reception. So let's just talk a little bit about just notes.
Okay, so what do you have to share?
So for you, what are the major things that you learned in the process of getting married? Maybe like the top 2.
Maybe I can summarize it into one idea, and that idea would be knowing what you want and just sticking to it. I think people get into weddings and they're swayed and pressured heavily to follow traditions and follow what people say because they haven't thought about what they really want.
Mm-hmm.
But if, like us, you have a chance to attend other weddings before having yours, that helps a lot. So be observant. Talk to your partner. Hey, did you like this part? Hey, did you like the food? Hey, did you like what they did here? Did you like the speeches? And talk about it and have your conversations, have your arguments, have your debates, and those will eventually help you figure out what you want. So when you're eventually faced with actual decisions for your wedding, you can be more honest with yourself and with your partner and say, alam mo, that's nice, but I don't think I need it in my wedding.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point because in the process of planning, the major thing that Mikael would always ask me was, is this what you really want?
Or will this make you happy?
Yeah. So those are the 2 things that you probably need to think of when you're planning a wedding.
Do you have anything to share?
I do actually. I think because it's such a grand event and because people look forward to a wedding since they're little, especially I would say for women, they really look forward to their big day. I would say don't stress out over little things. There may be things like a friend message na, what's the meaning behind your dates? And I said, there was no meaning. It was just the availability of the most important people that we needed there. And she's like, yeah, I think I might have to give up those dates. But we're constantly talking about wedding planning and your podcast has helped. So really, don't stress about small things. If a wedding date is important to you, then that's what you focus on. But if it's not super important, then you can move on to the next thing that is important.
Okay. And maybe one more tip, one last piece of advice, I won't go past this anymore, is be flexible. Diba? It's impossible to have a perfect wedding. Just like you can't have a perfect life, just you can't have a perfect day or moment. I mean, it's so difficult to control all the aspects
Yeah.
in a whole day. So instead of trying to control it, why don't you just control your reactions to changes that are unexpected? So I think a very, very good example for this is we had no contingency if it rained.
Yeah. It's a big thing.
It
like,
was completely open. There was no shelter nearby in our wedding venue, our reception venue. And our coordinator said, "Paano yan?" And I was like, "It's okay. Bahala na. If it rains super hard na wala tayong magagawa, edi wala tayong magagawa.
Yeah.
But if it rains lightly and maybe we could just find shelter elsewhere for a little bit, let's delay everything."
yeah.
So we were just going to figure it out then and there, and bahala na what happens. There was a time na if it just so happens it rains super hard and we can't do anything, hey, we were still married. Hey, we still had to be together.
Yeah. But I mean, that's our personalities.
That's
I mean,
our
it doesn't work for
personalities.
everyone. If you'll get stressed about something like that, then find a solution. But if you're like us and you're like chill or whatever, baka gumana para sa inyo.
Yeah, so basically this podcast, this series of We Are Married podcasts is me and Megan, me and Bones, sharing our experiences, and hopefully you can pick something up. This isn't a mandate. This isn't something we impose on you.
Yeah.
This is sharing stories in hopes that people can learn more about themselves, learn
Yeah.
more about what they want, and hopefully ultimately help you plan your own wedding.
Hey, I mean, hearing about other weddings and seeing other weddings has helped us plan our own because
we're
we knew
just-
what we wanted.
And we're just paying it forward through our podcast.
So I hope you guys enjoyed our stories about our wedding. And we're very, very much happy to share that with you guys after enjoying it to ourselves first.
Yeah. So with that, I would like to officially end the We Are Married series for the Behind Relationship Goals podcast. In the future, maybe just a little sneak preview, we will be talking about moving in together. We will be talking about Soba.
Yay!
How she has been a huge change and adjustment in our lifestyle and many, 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 many other things. Thank you so much for watching the podcast, and I hope you guys continue to follow us.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.